In this video, we are going to talk about systems of linear inequalities. In here we have two inequalities. We are going to call them system of inequalities. If we have more than one inequality, we call systems of inequalities. In previous videos, we talked about how to graph inequality. But in this lesson, we have systems of inequality. Again, we can use xy intercepts to graph them. First of all, we can name them. This is the first inequality, and this is the second one. Find xy intercepts for both of them. For the first one, y equals negative 2x plus 4. We are going to find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Here we have x-intercept, y-intercept. In x-intercept, y equals to 0. Let's make y 0. 0 equals negative 2x plus 4. We can move negative 2x to the other side. It will be positive 2x equals to 4. Now we can solve for x, divide both sides by 2. 2 with 2 will cancel. 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. X equals to 2. So our point is 2 and 0. For y-intercept, always x is 0. Y equals negative 2 multiplied by 0 plus 4. This one will be a 0, so y equals to 4. Our point will be 0 for x and 4 for y. Now let's plug the points on the coordinate plane and graph our inequality. We have 2 for x, 2 and 0. This is 2 for x, and we have 4 for y, which is here. If you see, in here we have y less than or equal, so we have an equal sign. So our graph, our line will be a solid line because we have an equal sign. So let's graph it. This is our line. We call the first one. This is the graph for the first inequality. Now we have to find our solution part. Either this part or the other part is solution part. Let's find out. We have two ways to find the solution part. The first way is, in here we have y less than. If y is less than a number, it means it's negative. It means it is smaller, so it goes for the negative parts of y. We can say that this is our solution part for the first inequality. The second way is we can take a point from our coordinate plane. The easiest point is 0 and 0. xy should be 0. So let's check them. We have 0 and 0. Put 0 points in the first inequality. We have y less than negative 2x plus 4. Just substitute zeros. 0 less than negative 2 multiplied by 0 plus 4. So 0 is less than 4. Is this true? If it is true, so this is true answer. It means that part we have a 0 is include. If our result is not true, it means the other part include that we don't have a 0. But here our inequality is true, so this part that we have a 0 is include. This is how we use checking to find out. Let's continue to graph the second inequality. We have y equals x minus 3. As I mentioned, we made the inequality as equals to find xy intercepts because we need a certain point. So this is x intercept, and this part for y intercept. In x intercept, y equals to 0, and in y intercept, x equals to 0. Let's find x-intercept. 0 equals to x minus 3. We can move negative 3 to the other side. it will be positive 3 equals to x, or x equals to positive 3. So our point is 3 and 0. To find y-intercept, you have to make x as 0. So y equals to 0 minus 3. It means y equals to negative 3. Our point will be 0 and negative 3 for y. Let's grab the second one. Let's use a different color. 3 and 0. This is 3 and 0. And we have 0 and negative 3, so 3 points down. Let's graph our ruler to graph them. As you see, in here we have y just greater than. We don't have an equal sign, so our line will be a dash line. Our line will be a dash line. So let's name it. This is the second one. Now we have to find the solution part. Either this part or the other part is our solution part. As I mentioned before, we have two ways again. In here we have y in one side and y is greater than. It means y greater than a number. It goes for positives. So our solution part for the second inequality is this part. It goes like that. Or we can use the second way, which is checking. Let's check it. For the second one, let's write in here, check. The easiest point to take is 0 and 0, because if you multiply 0 by any number, it will be a 0. So y greater than x minus 3. If y is 0 greater than 0 minus 3, 0 is greater than negative 3, which is true. 0 is greater than negative 3. So it goes for that part, we have a 0 point. So our inequality, our solution part will go up. Let's erase it because we don't need it here. As you see, we have four parts of graph. This is the first, and that one is the second. This is the third and fourth. We have four parts. So we found their graphs, their solution part for the graphs individually. But in here we have systems of inequalities. What about the solution part for both of them? As you see in the section 4, we have overlapped colors. It means this side, the section 4, is our solution part for both inequalities. It means if we take any point here to put in our inequalities, the result will be true. This is how we graph system of inequality. Let's solve another example. System of inequalities may contain more than two inequalities, such as this example. We have four inequalities. To solve them easily, we have to name them. This is the first, second, the third, the fourth. So we have to solve them individually and graph them individually, then determine the overlapped graphs so we can find our solution part for the system of inequality. Let's first solve the first one. Y less than or equals to 5. This is the first one. We know that the graph of y always is horizontal. We can say y equals to 5 easily. So we have 5 here. We have 5 here. Because we have an equal sign, so our graph will be a solid line. This is the first. It goes for down. Let's find out the graph of the second one. We have y greater than or equals to 2. This is the same. You have just y as itself. We have just y, so our graph will be a horizontal. We can say y equals to 2. So our point will be here, and we can graph it. And the graph will be a solid line because we have an equal sign here as well. For all of them will be a solid line because we have equal signs. This is for the second one. So what about our solution part? In here, y is greater than 2. Y is greater than 2, so it means it goes up. So the graph will go for up. So they mixed here. What about the third one? How can we find the graph of the third one? As I mentioned, we have to change the inequality sign to equal sign because we have to find the x and y intercept through x plus 1. This is x intercept and this is y intercept. In x intercept, always y is 0, so 0 equals to 3x plus 1. We can move 1 to the other side, it will be negative 1. So negative 1 equals to 3x. Divide both sides by 3. So negative 1 divided by 3 equals to negative 0.33 approximately. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so just x is remaining. So our point will be negative 0.33 and 0 for y. In y-intercept, always x is 0, so we can just immediately say y equals to 1. So our point will be 0 and 1 for y. We have negative 0.33, negative 0.33 approximately will be here. This is our point. And we have 1 up for y. Let's grab our ruler to grab them. This is also a solid line because we have an equal sign here. This is the third one. How can we find our solution part? As I told you, we have two ways. The first way, we can say that y is less than a number, so it goes for, it comes for the negative part, so it comes for down. So our solution part is this part for the third one. The fourth one, we have y equals to 3x minus 4. So we have to use xy intercepts. This is x intercept and this is y intercept. In x intercept y, in x intercept always y equals to 0, so 0 equals to 3x minus 4. We can move negative 4 to the other side. It will be 4 equals to 3x. To solve for x, we have to divide both sides by 3. So our point will be 1.33 equals x, because these two will cancel. 4 divided by 3 is 1.33. So our point will be 1.33 and 0 for y. For y-intercept, x is 0, so we can immediately say y equals to negative 4. Our point will be 0 and negative 4. Let's graph for this inequality. We have 1.33. This is 1 and 0.33 approximately is here. And we have 0 and negative 4 for y. Approximately is here. Let's grab our ruler to graph it. So our graph will be a solid line. This is the fourth one. To find out our solution part, y is greater than a number, so it means it goes for up or positive parts of y. So it goes for up. If you notice carefully, we have 9 parts of solution part. Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have to find the solution part for all of them, for our system. If you see in this area, we have all of colors that they overlap together. So this part is our solution part. You have to be very careful to find the solution part. If you take one point in this area and put in each one of these inequalities, you will get the correct result. This is how we graph systems of linear inequalities. Thank you for watching.